Five
Yeah.
5 minutes, eh? So
No, we're live now. We're live now.
okay, no,
We're live. let me just let me double check it, make sure everything's okay. See here. Let's see here. All right. So here. No, there's people coming in, but let me make sure the sound's okay. Oh my God. I feel like something just jumped into my heart, man. Just like huge. Okay, here we go.
it's the heart chakra opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
intense.
here we go. So we've got I got a big bottle of water. So we've got 13. I'm going to give it about another 30 seconds and let people come in. If these shows resonate, please share. We're going to have another exciting show right now with my beloved brother. I'm going to roll the show out in just a second. Let me just pass this around a little bit
It's gonna be
our network of
spiritually spectacular.
yeah, the adjectives are leaving us as we this happy equinox.
Yeah, happy equinox for everybody just watching.
Yes.
Thank you for being there.
Yeah. So we got about 30 people in the house. Let me just roll this out. We were starting to have a conversation. I just got hit with a bunch of energy, and so I'm led to share this, which is that. So I was called a Sedona, as a lot of people know. I was called a Sedona by the Mother Goddess, by the crystals of Sedona, and by the Arcturian Council of Nine. And I was told to come here to launch this network finally, and not to worry about how to put it together, that people would come forward and it would all happen in a way that would not be something understandable or done in the old 3D way. So having said that, I was, with the guidance and because I am in a divine partnership, a divine conscious union, that we're helping to bring the frequency of divine union back to the planet. And so this is a joint effort. And in that tandem of energy, I'm in a situation here where we actually have two divine feminine and two divine masculine on the shows today, with equal representation to both of the energetic genders. We have Morgana Eccleston that was on a minute ago. We have my brother here, who I'm going to introduce in a second for those of you who don't know him. Next, we have Vera Ingeborg, who's been out there leading for a long time, and also Rick Jewers, who is somewhat of an overseer, a lot like Juan. So I just want to say that this is all in alignment of the heart, and in alignment with the heart of the Mother Goddess energy and all the divine galactic and angelic essences that comprise us. So having said that, I'm really, really happy to reintroduce my beloved brother, who I've been connected to for about 3 years, Juan José Cívicos. And I just want to say thank you for honoring us with your presence. I know you've been out there for many, many years doing the good work, long before other masculines were, doing it without notoriety, doing it without anything, having everything stripped away from you. And I just want to say that it's an honor to have you here, and to also recognize the work that you've done on behalf of the collective. Thank you.
Well, very moving words from you, very profound, really soul gratitude thoughts. We are just indeed working this together, and this is the basic unconditional love, what we are bringing here to Mother Earth for humanity, working for eons to bring the energies to this point, many efforts, and it is just my pleasure to be of service for Mother Earth, humanity, and the source. Basic unconditional love is just kindness and generosity, and this is what where we start from one to the infinite. So that is just the increasing intense energies that we are receiving. This is just shaking my body of all this flowing on this moment. So I'm really pleased to be with you, my beloved brother Todd. Incredible job that you are doing for humanity too. So
you're welcome. It's an honor to serve you, and it's an honor to serve with you.
well, I see this as vibration. Serving is indeed something that we do. It is the harmony of our energies. You're working together and bringing consciousness and bringing our harmony and restoring our original divine blueprint on our planet. So that is something that love is what we are learning in this process. But love, divine love, pure, perfect love is a constant in the universe from the moment of creation. So the Big Bang was already spreading this love we have probably enjoyed in our planet time ago, but we are now restoring this original divine blueprint. What changing was our family, humankind, just by separating of trying to separate our civilization from this constant divine intense love of the universe. So this is what we are doing in this process of ascension, just to learn again how to love. This is a real challenge for us to open to this our heart chakras, and this is what we have been doing during the last 4 or 5 years, and before, the people who were working also in the south, just to bring the complete civilization to this point where we can culminate and close this circle and understand this divine consciousness. So everyone is, we can say, serving, but we are just walking to find our divine essence. That is what is calling in our souls of light to restore this universal balance with ourselves. That is how I experience this moment, and we are all in this sacred spaceship that is our Mother Earth, and it is our home planet. So we have to take care.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And you're right. Let me ask you this, because I know you're directly linked every single day.
Yes.
Because I followed you for a long time. A lot of people do. I received for about, and I don't get a lot of stuff like you do. I don't think so. I think my role's a little different. It doesn't matter. But I
Doesn't
received
matter.
for almost a year and a half. I received that September 2018 was the month of completion. And I'm not saying I even know what that means, but what I did get out of it was that there was something was ending, and it may be something that was specific to what we might call way showers or Blu-rays or first wavers, but there was something ending, and that there was an epic new beginning. Does
Yes.
your intel resonate with that at all, or align with that at all? What's your take on September of 2018?
Yes, Todd, this indeed, we are still on September, and this is a very intense month. Began everything with the activation of the brain dolphin and the diamond heart, September the 2nd, with our sister Grace Solaris doing a divine job for humanity and combining the energies. Something was opening. And of course, every day is a new challenge, a new download, a new revelation. And from this intention of this, let's say, competition against the divine creation that some started time ago, it was a dividing process of all our energies. So we have had to balance from the masculine and the feminine, and the positive and the negative, and the night and the day, and the magnetic and electric, and also the conscious and subconscious. Conscious is what we perceive indeed from the reality of the world. That is, and also the subconscious is that what we perceive from our souls, the information that we all bring to this world on this moment in our souls. It is the subconscious. So that also needs a balance with what we perceive in the reality, that sometimes can be confusing for some people. So all of this division was brought to our civilization, and what we are doing now is to bring all back, as I told in the beginning, to our original divine blueprint, where all these energies were connected. So indeed, in September, it is a completion, and everything is understanding. It is we are learning to love. We are learning unconditional love, kindness, generosity, and we are also learning to understand ourselves in the universe. So, because every single one of us is a spark of this divine love.
Yeah.
But that is actually what we are doing, just remembering who we really are, connected to all the master creation, and performing our individual unique mission on earth, trying to increase this intensity of love, and also trying to find this universal bliss that is spiritual happiness. So that is where we are growing, and that is the Dharma, where we enter full in our potential and manifestation of our divine energies. And that is the beautiful journey that we can share on this moment. That is the great achievement of our civilization, that we are just finally understanding ourselves. And that is the month of September, answering your question, where I feel indeed and resonates deep in my aura and divine essence, that this September 18th is a month of completion. And that is also together with happened 4 years ago. Following the master plan, I have been making 4 videos in the dates that I had the revelations in the physical form, the visit of the dove, September 4th, 2014, and the revelation of the flower of life in the screen of my computer, September 7th, 2014, and the 9th were the universal master codes of the master plan, the 999. That is indeed 4 nines, as I explained. And also I had very deep near-death experience on the 11th, also the 12th in time here in Europe, in Rotterdam, and still the 11th in the United States and the continent of America. So these were 4 years of intense learning, and September is indeed something that I feel like a closing circle in this learning process, where we enter completion of understanding, where we can manifest indeed in full potential and dimension our energies on earth. So it is a real great miracle. And since then, there had been many synchronicities with brothers and sisters. That is incredible way how we have been able to connect telepathically.
Yeah.
And we are, I think, amazed about how we are also in our dreams finding this connection, lucid, vivid dreams, and people are connecting themselves. I keep contact with beloved sisters and brothers, and they are telling that with their contacts, they are just meeting themselves in dreams and in a special way, unexpected way of manifestation, because the universe is playing with us, and we are playing with the universe in an innocent way. So what the universe is giving us also in this moment is the possibility to experience love and the magic of miracles in connection with the source. So this is what we are now trying to integrate in our energies, and that is what we are experiencing in a great scale as we were for a long time not living on our home planet. So this is a great moment of human manifestation, with our potential just activating and enjoying as children, making the first steps in the new Dharma energies.
Yeah. And here we go. I was going to say, and I'm led to, and thank you for that explanation. And by the way, we're going to have Grace on tomorrow. She's going to come on and grace us with her presence. So I'm led to ask you, because I totally agree with what you're saying. It is a very pivotal time this month and this day and the next 2 or 3 days even.
Yes.
There seems to be some type of window opening here, some type of opportunity. And I know in the complexity, and we're at a little bit of a disadvantage, although we're gaining every day as telepathy grows and the collective consciousness or the Akashic grows, our ability to pull in and understand more, our awareness is expanded, but it's still a complex thing. What is the role of the perceived adversarial energy, the 1% energy, reptilian energy, archonic energy, whatever you want to call it? What is the state, and to your knowledge, what is the state of the union with that? We all know that we're the power. We know that we're divinity. We know that that we're sovereign and they cannot control us. It's all here, in our heart and our mind. But what do you see playing out there as we take on the things that have been so energetically incorrect or energetically misaligned, such as the financial, such as the institutions, such as the imbalance of the patriarchal system and so on? Where do you see that stands now?
Well, for me, it is the consequences of decisions taken 2,000 years. I have been repeating these issues since the last coming of Christ, consciousness and spirit. And from that moment was created a field of separation and division, divide and conquer, isn't it? So we are just reacting. All the financial system, the whole world structure is reacting still to that intention to separate humanity and divide us from the divine source. It is not possible at all, but it was a kind of accident in the way that the people were pretending just to fight against their own shadow. So that is the rotten roots of the poisoned tree who is dying, and we are the purified star seeds creating new life on Mother Earth. So what I see is indeed that this world has been, how to say this? It is a divided administration of control, power of money. And that is the consequence that we see in our world, the chaos, the mess, that is the consequence, divided administration of power, money, and control. And what we have to create is united administration of unconditional love. And that is what is matching all the universal energies of creation. That is the grace of creation, this increase of our connection with the source and these telepathic transmissions and all this light that we have been watching and perceiving and experiencing is just the invitation of the universe, the divine consciousness of the universe, to engage with these energies with unconditional love. What is in the basic manifestation is kindness and generosity, and we can go to the infinite, and we have to apply this as a global administration, united global administration of unconditional love. So the entire financial system, as I see the situation, is belongs to that roots of the Roman Empire, power, control, and the money of the Pharisee, and this financial energy is coming from suffering and sacrifice of humanity. So in one way, these currencies are also impregnated of that energy. So if we have to create a new structure, we have to create a new world currency. That is the divine suggestion for humanity, and I think it is the path to start from zero in the new tree who is going to sustain all the fruits that we can create for the healthy, comfortable, and joyful journey, and also safe journey of humanity. And that is how I see this bridge to the new era. And we have given to the money energy too much energy of ourselves, and the problem is that money is controlling humans, and that is a weak situation. We have the power now and the consciousness to control money, because we are the intelligence of the heart. We are the intelligence of love, and that is the global united administration of unconditional love. And for those who say, what is unconditional love? I should say that from the starting point is generosity, and that is kindness. If we can start our new tree of life from those energies, we have just left behind of the fears. We have left behind all those lies and toxic and poisoned energy. So everything is created under the divine consciousness. All races who are present in our galactic family, they are coming here through interdimensional travel, and nobody can travel through dimensions in a status of violence, of war whatsoever. That is an hoax. That is not possible. And the clear example of how we improve our awareness and our awakening energies is because we have returned to our divine original peaceful status. It is only with peaceful situation how we can increase and ascend to our divine multi-dimensional possibilities. And that is something that peace is so important, that we can reach this peace inside with ourselves and reptilians of I don't know. I mean, for me, from the point of the immaculate conception of the master creator, from the moment of the Big Bang, wars are not in. Money, the universe was created with 100% consciousness and 0% money. So money is just a tool. It is not God. And it's something that we really have to understand. That to make a real clean and a purified financial system, if we create a new currency for the entire humanity, just like we have a language for commercial aviation, we know that the pilots pilots from China can land in Los Angeles in Europe, and the European pilots can land with their airplanes in South Africa or whatever other country, because there is a global universal language. And for our civilization, money is important. So we should give that global unifying energy to the financial system. You know, that there are not wars in the financial balance between countries, free commerce, respecting the production of every country. And that is how we could approach this. I think that for the mind, it could be a heavy load idea to handle, but when we look at all these changes, this evolution, this bridge from the old to the new, and we focus in our unconditional love, everything becomes lighter, because we have complicated our lives, pushing ourselves to a war against our shadows. So once that we are conscious that the wars are not, we are love, we are not the wars. So once that we are in our hearts aware and conscious that the intelligence of love is the only energy who is going to rescue our civilization from the old patterns of the poisoned energies of on this planet. And from that moment, we can start a boom halo of covering energies for the entire civilization of our Mother Earth, that people start projects that they are financed from this new currency in order to resolve the problems that we have in our planet, in a global administration united in love consciousness. So that is how I see all this bridge situation. And of course, this needs dialogue, needs analysis. This needs a lot of approach to the problems, and create priorities, and in service of our civilization and Mother Earth and our future generations. So this is a crucial moment for us, just to be mature spiritually, and also with integrity in our human manifestation. That is our real power, I thought.
That's a great, and the thing is to drill it down. We were just talking about this on the previous show. People were bringing up Q and Trump and disclosure, and they're turning things around. And I just have, I am the most faithful. I'll put my faith up against anybody's, but I have faith in me and you. I have faith in the people here. I have the faith in the energy of this 99.9%. I don't have faith in the narrative. I just don't see where, if any leader out there was really aligned, I don't care what information they're privy to or not, we're still sovereign free souls, they would speak the truth at the pulpit that they're standing at, in their place on the world stage. I don't see it. So I see these conversations like you're talking about having a much greater impact than we ever thought of as human beings. And the other thing that comes up to me, which I've been wanting to talk to you about, because I thought about you when it happened to me. For about 2 or 3 years, I was receiving these transmissions about a 5D commerce. I didn't understand it all. I was told Soulology is a platform. I was told it was also part of a team of energies or whatever, portals or whatever, that was going to bring in a 5D commerce. And what is that? So about 2 months ago, and I've talked about it, the Arcturian Council of Nine came in. I was in a hotel room, and they told me it's based on integrity. And that's what reminded me when you said the word integrity. It's based on the honor system, and it's based on gifting, and it is mirroring and emulating the basis of an equal universal exchange, in the universe, equal exchange of energy. And so I was told at that time to take 30% of everything that comes in, regardless of your situation, and start paying it forward and start paying it forward and start paying it forward. And I got a big push on this from Lisa Transcendence Brown back in May, because she told me her story. She told me how she had gotten things and how she had evolved her enterprise, her energy, the energy of her enterprise, and how this actually works. And it's all based on integrity. And I think of the old adage, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. So I started to adopt it, and I'm just a copy. I'm just an individual copying the collective, trying to follow my mission as I'm receiving this guidance, and I'm watching it happen. So I go to eat lunch, I spend $10, I leave a $5 tip. You know, I see somebody yesterday that's needing some help going across the country. So I'm just led as the day goes by to give, to pay it forward, and it's all a gift. And the crazy thing that they told me was that gifting is outside of the jurisdiction of these lawless laws and rules and regulations of the current financial system, because they can't touch you if we're gifting through this underground network. Basically, they can't touch us, you know. And it's like this machine. And the last thing I'll say is what you were talking about, not just specifically about money, but about the bridges, and that is the intention that goes with it. So if I'm next to nothing, have no money, and I go grab a couple of hamburgers and it's $10, if I gift this tip at 30% or $5 or whatever from my heart, that energy right there is going to be reciprocated, especially now with these energies coming down, versus me saying, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. This has to come from the heart. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about these bridges that are being built by the first waivers, or whatever you want to call it. And it's all about that invisible energy that we actually are, that is found in the core of our heart. So I just wanted to add that to what you were saying.
Yeah, will make completely perfectly sense. It is indeed what we are just manifesting is a very high preoccupation for the financial situation on this planet, and people still think under the influence of this Pharisee who chose on the 2,000 years ago for the coins instead for love, and once again, this universe was created to 100% consciousness, 0% money. So that is, I think too spiritual. And from the people say, yeah, from the spirituality, you cannot eat. You need money to eat. Well, spirituality, tomatoes that Mother Earth is giving us from our work, and we only have to look to our native American brothers and sisters who had been just living for thousands of years without a coin. So, I mean, the problem is that the people associate comfort with material possessions, you know, and those who are in charge of the money energy on this moment, I think that the universe is not giving them more greater power that they have before, just by operating on this planet from generosity, and cover our planet from a currency that is just the purpose to protect our civilization, and money as a tool, just like hammers. You can produce as many hammers as you need to fix your house, and money is exactly the same. So money is just the problem here, and the fear to lose power, control, and the money administration. But whenever it is divided, as it is, and it is confronted in conflicts of countries with all the commercial balance and the restrictions, and that is, the people is just fighting here for the candy, you know. Meanwhile, we have just an incredible feeding energy that is the divine love, and the spirituality, and our integrity, and our spiritual maturity. And from that perspective, you can create as much money as we need, to protect our planet. But of course, you need to have the integrity and the generosity and the kindness to use that financial powerful energy to correct the deficiencies of our civilization, the chaos and the mess that we live with, all the plastics and the killing of animals and everything that we are doing only for the industry.
Yeah.
Mother Earth has been treated badly on this, and that is reflecting now in all the energies that are manifesting, and also the suffering of our sisters and the sacrifice of the feminine, divine feminine energies. That is because we have not been able to respect our Mother Earth, and that is the first priority, because here is where we live, and here is where we come in another avatar, if our spirit, our soul is coming again. So consciously, once that we leave this plane, we can go to the spiritual world. We should be able to come here in full awareness of who we were in previous lives. But just because we have established a deep connection with the rest of the universe, meanwhile our Mother Earth is just isolated from the rest of the universe, and we have just to make this full connection with the courage of integrity and maturity. We cannot go, to make a new concept using the rotten roots of the old dying tree. What is poison? Has to be from zero. It is not other. Because all what we have seen is just contaminated.
Yeah, I agree. But let me ask you this. As we move into this month of completion, and as we move forward, into this new epic beginning, and as everything is the God is substance. I mean, even if you look at artificial intelligence, some people say the moon is artificial. Well, even if it's artificial, even if a robot is artificial, it still has the same God-Goddess substance. So we are transformers. We are transmutators. And and I don't think it's so, I mean, it's mind-blowing, because we're at a quantum level now. We're no longer at a linear level. So what are our capabilities? What are our skills? I mean, and we're just using money as an example. But if we have this system that looks like it's toxic and all the things that it is, can we not take that energy? I mean, if somebody hands me $100 and it carries all of that lineage of trauma and all the things that go with it, can I not take that energy as a divine human soul and transmutate it and transform it into pure love and pass it on to my brother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, is it these little things that we can do each and every day where we don't have to sit there and say, "Oh my God, Trump's going to save us. Oh my God, all this stuff." All that stuff to me is just more of that same old programming, and so I believe that we're moving into a place where we can actually transform in the moment anything and everything, and this is where the power builds. It's.
We have to dare to share the power with the universe, and we have here a divided administration of power, control, and money, and this has to be seen as its coexistence with the rest of the universe, and the universe provides. I mean, in my case, I have been telling this, written, and also in other videos, I have no financial income since the year 2012 or something. So I'm talking about 6 years without any. Well, last year they were paying to me 800 euros, and one of my brothers was sending an amount to me as a donation for me, and that is I mean, money is a relative energy. What counts is love. Love is what is transforming. That is the alchemy of the transformation, because
that's what he was sending you, love. Right?
Yeah.
I want you to. I want to ask you to explain, because there's many grid workers around the world. Most of them, from my experience, have been divine feminine, have been
Mhm.
carrying sacred wisdom. They're not on the camera. They're doing it in solitude, in anonymity,
Yeah,
without any recognition. But
yeah.
there's also a few brothers out there like you. And I would just
Mm.
like for you to, if you would, just, because I know how egoless you are, okay?
Yeah.
If you would explain to the people watching what you have been doing for the collective and for Mother Earth and for your brothers and sisters over these last 6 years that you've been in, by 3D standards, poverty. What have you been doing for us? Because it's extremely important for people to know what these divine feminine have been doing, and the few divine brothers like you that have been out there doing this without any recognition.
Well, that is, if I have to tell you all the details of the last 6 years, we should be here for many hours. But basically, this is just I'm just learning to love and receiving this divine love through my heart chakra and all my energy channels, and transmitting this and to humanity. So and by a natural process, we have all been catching up quickly and activating our chakras, and especially the heart chakra. What I have been doing is just bringing these downloads, connecting with the divine source, with my Merkaba, and just receiving this information telepathically. And we are just moving our civilization in a telekinetic effort to bring and to lift the whole civilization to higher dimensions. And about the ego, we all have an ego. I
Mhm.
also have an ego.
I know.
But the ego is just the energy that was used, let's say, for the ancestors of this Cro-Magnon and all these old races that they were evolving just to survive on Mother Earth. What is about the ego? I have been purifying my ego because I also come from a full matrix situation in my whole aura. So I was just like another one. The my personal process. Everyone, you ask also about the divine feminine. I know that they are incredible. Phew,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
it's too much emotion sometimes.
Well, it's understandable.
Give me a minute.
Yes. And you take a minute, take as long as you want. And I just want to say this emotion is pure and real. And this is more activation in this emotion and the pure, raw, real expression of a divine human soul. More activations in that than in any transmission, download, or channeling any of us can have. We are
Yeah.
gods and goddesses. We activate each other. And as we said in the previous show with Morgana, it's time. The divine feminine has to step into fully into her power within ourselves, but also the incarnations, so that the masculine can follow. Because that energy can't do it without her. There's no way.
No, absolutely not. They are making an extraordinary job, and they are the ones who have been suffering because they are initially more emotional intelligent that we are. We are also improving in our masculine manifestation just by balancing our feminine energies and our masculine energies in order to understand them. But they carry also the responsibility and also the deep spiritual connection with Mother Earth. So what has been doing to Mother Earth, they are going through to these energies, so that For
The
them.
divine feminines are walking in here.
That's right. We're
Look at
delivering.
Just set it right there. No, I got it. Just set that fork on there. Okay, thank you.
But it's yeah. And they are coming, just talking about them.
Oh, you were on. You had me on something though. You were on a roll there.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, that's and and again, I got to just say big props to you because, I mean, I pretty much met you when I came off the street or shortly thereafter, and before I mean, there just wasn't any men out there recognizing that, and that's what I was trying to get you to get to, not to lead you to, but to understand that this is a man that I'm sitting across from that for many, many years, I mean, the 5 years I think that I've known him, has been out there acknowledging this divine feminine when very few, if any, men were doing that, were even aware of that. And still
Yeah.
to see that emotion, which I understand today, which I probably didn't understand as well a year ago or even a week ago,
Yes.
is it's real, it's very good to see that there are more men stepping up. I see the numbers in Sology. When it started 6-7
Yeah.
years ago, it was 78 to 22% men, and now it's about 63% women and 37% men. And most of that
Yeah.
increase in men has occurred this year.
Yes, of course, this years is important. We are already 4 years working on these energies, and just going back to your question, what I have been doing during the last 6 years, one of the things is also activating the divine feminine with the masculine love, just to try to for them to find this trust that we were losing, because we had been indeed in the patriarchal society, very aggressive against women, so
And each other.
yeah, yeah,
Don't
of
forget,
course,
and each
yeah,
other
and
too.
yeah, we have been hostile against ourselves, and that
Yeah.
comes from the world of separation and division of, basically before of 2,000 years, and 2,000 years ago was a turn, when the parameters of the universe set, with Christ go to the right and go 40 miles an hour, they went to the left and they were 100 miles an hour. What happened? We have crashed the spaceship. And people do not understand this concept, but this spaceship was led or guided by a spiritual pilots, like the pharaohs before the time of Adam and Eve. These were all tries of the universe to get this civilization under the divine parameters. They had been we had been between evolving in these fits and starts constantly, and we now have to get this in the whole concept, that we get the stable course of our civilization. And our sisters, they are doing an extraordinary job just to connect the energies of Mother Earth, and just nurturing again as the power that they really have. They are also doing the same, recovering their original divine blueprint and responsibility. And we also know from the many aspects of life that women have a very strong spiritual potential and emotional intelligence. So that has been also for me, I have explained this before, that I had to learn the emotional sensibility and intelligence of the women, because we were not able to understand them. And in the way that we are starting to understand them, they can give us the trust that we were missing. So this is part of the reunion, the divine reunion. I was personally very lucky to find a feminine teacher, a woman that has taught to me a lot of things that I know. And that comes from what I can speak now, comes from a feminine energy of my relation with the divine feminine energy manifesting all from her 17 years old.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't
So
know
this
nothing.
so this is the process, my brother, and this is how we are just aligning with them, and also giving them the trust that we are just understanding them, because this is
Yeah.
about understanding. There is nothing else that understand ourselves and understand one another. What is giving us the trust, what is giving us back the confidence, is giving us the safe and the comfort and the joyful feeling with other sisters. I have incredible connection with sisters, and they are on this moment just enjoying the play and the game with us, because we can follow them in their emotional manifestation, and that is what the masculine is indeed, by cleaning the ego, the alpha male ego of the old
Mhm.
ape
The asshole.
manifestation. Yeah, so
But I
so
want to,
you
I want to ask you something.
yeah.
I want to get your perspective on this because I can relate to it, and I never thought about asking you this. I love spontaneity. So, having said all that about and paying the respects uh, to the divine feminine and acknowledging her in your journey and your wisdom and such. Um, I know what it was like for me, but what was it like for Juan, the man, to have to give up these the conditions of this false empowerment that we all were given, that was embedded in us, in our DNA and our bones and such? What was that journey like? Was it easy for you to concede to the energy of the divine feminine, or were there was it like me? Did you get kicked in
So
the ass all the time?
I'm just thinking, just preparing you the answer to your question. So I go through my mind, and, but to go on with the question, that is very important. Yeah, of course, it is surrender. You have and just humbleness, humbleness. This in humbleness is the power of the energies, because that is just the match of the master creation. The master creation is humble. All this process has only manifested the humbleness of the master creation, but that is what gives us the power also of the master creation in the understanding of this divine consciousness, that it is surrendering. That's um, uh, more than surrendering is recognizing myself in my mistakes, to be auto-reflexive and to be autocritic and to be constructive with my own divine energies. And when the ego is on the way, you have to say, I have to clean that. That is in a very long process. And I have probably taken the leading path on this situation, but I can tell you about 5 years. What is 5 years in million of years that we are in the evolution on this planet? There's nothing that is reachable for everyone, but you have to manifest the courage and the intention. I had been talking in other videos about the divine intentions and the toxic temptations. So that is a difference in that those energies. If you are committed to learn, the problem is that some people don't want to learn. If you don't, everybody has the capacity to learn. So I have surrendered myself to the teachings of the universe and everyone around who has been sending me these kind of messages, and people who has been sacrificing also their reputations and doing everything just to wake up this divine experience on Mother Earth that we were losing thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
That is the god goddess energy balanced in my own masculine energy, but everything is inside me. Also, that feminine energy is also inside
Oh
of
yeah.
me. Is the manifestation of that awareness and we are just in this planet, in the dual manifestation of oneness, but physical uniqueness in masculine and feminine, just to share this vibration of love. In the moment that the master creator, the divine consciousness, was conceiving this, splits both polarities on this planet to create that association, to create that oneness in divine polarity, to create life, love, and consciousness, and so that is the understanding that I was making in my own unique personal journey, to come to the point where we can find, by understanding this divine balance between not only the feminine and the masculine, but also with the animal kingdom, the vegetal kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. So everything is from the perspective of the immaculate conception, is perfect love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I think
we are perfect pure love. That is the and the rest is secondary. Money, of power, of when you
yeah.
understand this powerful, pure, perfect love, I see the rest is just
Yeah.
and the manifesting from one another. That is the plus. That is the spiritual happiness. That
Yeah.
is the bliss of our existence, just to share this powerful love energy with one another. And that was
And
the Christ consciousness and spirit
yeah.
message 2000 years ago, and that is the same message that I bring now to this planet.
Yes. And I think for men, and this is why I bring it up, because I see so many men out there. I see us making progress. I see us
Yeah,
expanding,
absolutely.
and I
Yeah,
see the surrendering, but I still see a lot of brothers suffering, man. I mean, like, just like, what the hell's going on? That's why I was asking you the question. But what I love about what you said, well, it's like the false power we had as men was rooted in our sexual power. And when
absolutely.
I say that, I mean energetically. Or so we're a stud, or we're this, or we're that, whether it's competition or that. But the profound thing is, and I'd love for you to talk on this for the last 4 or 5 minutes, is
Yeah,
is the impact upon surrendering and transformation, or transforming, because it's continuous, uh, of this, of the other side of that, this sacred sexual power that
tantra.
permeates through all of our expressions, our work, our relationships. Can you talk a little bit about what that's been for you and what that's like, so that these men can understand that we're giving away this big power that we think we have, but
Yeah.
there is a prolific, exponentially, way beyond anything they could imagine, that's on the other side. And I think you probably understand that more than most men do.
Well, it is in struggling. I understand in many masculine energies just trying to leave behind the ego energies, and that is in that way we masculine have seen women as a kind of trophy, and that is the mimicking of the animal kingdom. The problem of the separation, when we are disconnected from the divine source, we just fall down in under dimensions of consciousness. So the problem is that men see women as a kind of trophy. They just score on this, and that is just an aberration. That is a denigration of our, and I mean, feels uncomfortable to talk about this, but when you meet that divine energy, and you transmit in the sexual energies, for me sex is also I talk about tantra. The physical contact between two humans has to come when you have just balanced and aligned and centered your mental, emotional, and spiritual energies.
Mhm.
And sex, for me, of the physical interchange is the last, not the first. And
Yes.
the point industry is making a lot of damage on the images of the woman, and all those kind of sexual provocations. And I mean that is for me something that is just deforming the perception of what we have with one another. It is important that we go to that point once that we have got the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual energies with both partners in alignment.
Yes.
And that is the bliss of the body contact with both energies. And that is when you can think about tantra. You can think of meditation in tantra to create the kundalini energies.
Yeah.
And that is for me an experience. That is for me in reality. That is for me something that you can create what you have spiritualized the body contact with your partner, and that scene I'm strictly monogam, and I'm just in celibacy the last 9 months, and I understand the importance of this question also for our planet, because we have a massification of the population. We are kings and queens of nothing on this planet. People think that they are kings of queens when we don't have even control of the population and the growth here. We are ending like the spiders and the matriphagy, Matriphagy is eating our own mother because we are not able to control ourselves in our sex instincts.
Right.
And instinct is the manifestation of the ego. I talk always about intuition in the mind, inspiration in the heart, and imagination in our reflection of the peaceful soul. And that is what we have to center.
Yeah.
Abandon mimicking of the third kingdom of creation and just coming to the divine expression of our full potential in divine consciousness and connection with the universal source. And I mean, we can all reach there. I have done this in 5 years, and I'm not better than anyone else. But I had been constant in my growth and in my ascension, and I had been open to learn from everybody. Everything is teaching you something in your path when you are open to receive. From signs from about lights, butterflies, birds.
That's right.
And
That's right.
my brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, everybody's teaching. Even a baby is teaching you.
Yeah. Yeah. And these kids come out.
Yeah,
And
kids.
I just want to say one thing too about what you said, because I don't want it to be, and this isn't for just the men out there. I was having this conversation with a divine goddess last night, and I went celibate for almost 5 years. Now, I entered a divine conscious union through ceremony this past summer.
Yeah,
and
congratulations. You still have
yeah, thank you.
I
And we
enjoy
had
it.
it was profound. It is profound, and we had a honeymoon, and I've got to tell you though that there's something about celibacy that I didn't even know on a personal level what I was getting into. We've both been celibate when we met, and but there's something that happens to our energetic field, to our DNA, that and I don't want to get into a religious type of pious description, because people looked at me crazy when they looked at me and said, "Oh my God, what are you talking about?"
I shouldn't do that.
I came to I came to understand how purifying, not just to my soul, but to my physical vessel, which is an avatar, which is actually a biological Merkaba. I realized, and then for you brought it up, which was part of what I was trying to get to, is the fact that when you get to the intimacy, and that wasn't the only thing I was talking about. I was talking about our energy as masculines rising, our sexual power in all of our life. But when you get to that sacred sexual point that you're talking about, such as tantra, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing to put your hand on a woman's back and the universe speaks to you and tells you things. It is she is the universe. And you have access to it, like you said, when you're in alignment, it's the last thing you do. So I just want to make that point, not just to the men out there, but to the women out there. And I really appreciate you going into that subject, because it's not an easy subject, but in sharing with us your
I,
own experience.
I'm happy that you have explained in English much better than I have
No,
done.
you did fine. You did
No,
fine. You were
that is great. What I see, I'm happy just looking at people happy and enjoying this. That is the that is what every father mother universe is, just that paternal energy to protect us as the children of the universe, and a healthy uh, parent, father of mother with a divine of loving intention, only wants to see her of his children having a safe, joyful and comfortable life. And that is
yeah,
no difference in the fractal structure of the creation of the universe.
yeah.
So, from my point of view of brothers and my sister, I enjoy just watching people happy, happy relation,
Mhm.
because your happiness is just radiating to the rest, and
Yeah,
everything that we are creating is a wave expanding across the entire universe, the galaxy, our planet, and other souls and other heart. So that is the essence of the preservation of our civilization, to have a conscious, responsible sex with each other,
yeah,
because that is mind blowing in the literal way of the expression, because the Kundalini is just creating downstairs,
yeah,
in the sacred chakra, and that is just going through your crown chakra. That energy is projecting into the universe, and
yeah,
that is assimilating in your pineal and then your pituitary gland, just behind of the hypothalamus of the eyes, and you feel it there, just as a warm energy flowing.
yeah,
That is the tantra and the Kundalini expression of two souls aligned in that physical contact, and
yeah.
people have to understand there is no greater pleasure than that.
No,
you know
and
we are
it's
con-
and
we are
yeah.
confusing the scoring and the trophy. That is a denigration of our
It's like
possibilities.
it's like you said. It's the last thing on the list. And I can
Yeah.
tell you, I've been in this relationship for over 3 years, and I
Hmm.
can tell you, it was, and is the last thing on the list. And
Yeah.
my experience with what we might call full intimacy has been very, very small.
Hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I will say this, that like I dipped just my little finger into it, right? But
Hmm.
that little experience has been light years beyond the full life I lived as a human man for 50 years, okay? And I lived a lot, okay? There's no comparison. It's like
Absolutely.
it's like I'm not even at the 1% wisdom mark yet. I don't even, but I've seen enough to know
Yeah.
that there lies the promised land. So, you know,
Absolutely. That is correctly, is perfectly right, and it is the truth. I mean, if you are in disalignment with a relation, you are drowning your energies. You
yeah,
are drowning. You are losing your energies, and you get regrets of you feel not comfortable. When you are aligned in the balance with your partner,
yeah,
that energy is just reviving all your cells. You are getting even more energy from that, because you are in the right path with your partner. That is something that is the divine creation of the master creation, for masculine and feminine in perfect alignment. The creation of light, consciousness, and divine energies, and of course the pure perfect love, and that
yeah,
can only be in the benefit of ourselves. You get
yeah,
younger,
yeah,
you get more energetic,
yeah,
you have more energy, not only for the interchange but to sport. I actually, in the last time, I had been able to get back to my sport, to look weight. Everything is working for ourselves to live longer and happier, and that is the vibration of the perfect love.
Yeah.
And time ago, people was able to live 2, 3, 4, or 500 years, and we are having this sort of organic life because the deterioration of our organic system, our cells, the toxic fooding, the toxic sex, the
Yeah.
toxic
Yeah.
exchange of these poisons of wars, we were not created for that. And
No,
people
no,
has
no.
to understand that that is the real potential, that is spiritual bliss and happiness
Yeah.
that we can reach by interchanging our purity, integrity.
Absolutely.
That is the
And
point, and in the
yeah.
relation is exactly the same.
Yeah, and like so many things in this journey, in this transition, what we're
Yeah.
finding out, it's the exact opposite of what we were doing. So I just want to say that I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And I want to tell you too, everybody, that if these shows resonate with you, please share that we are in Sedona now. And I was told here to come here and launch this thing, which I've been trying to do for 2 years. And I just want to say it spontaneously and publicly that I want to I'm fulfilling my role, one of the missions that I have, which is to fill the airwaves of the Divine Holy Matrix with this type of programming, and you are one of the 6 or 7 people at the top of the list. We've done plenty of shows together, so I'm going to be uh, reaching out to you and asking if you would like to and it's all tied together, but the people understand what you're saying. They get it. You carry a very pure frequency, and I just want to say thank you again for honoring us with your presence and sending you peace, love, comfort, uh, healing, whatever you need. I'm with you,
Mhm.
and I'm always on call. It's an honor to serve you, and like I said, it's an honor to serve with you. So, thank you for coming on this equinox, and I love you, brother.
My honor.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. I love
Yeah.
you. And everybody watching, thank you very much for your loyalty and divine blessings.
All right.
Spiritual happiness for for everyone.
You
Namaste.
take. Namaste, brother. You take